it's money extremely well spent. And had I have known, like I said, that these types of people exist, the first thing I would have done is, when I started my business,
But what would you say if someone has to sit down and maybe look at, maybe their business is getting a bit stale and they were going to reinvent, what would be the first typical process that you would encourage people to do? Like, what are the actual physical actions that they can take in order to reinvent themselves?
So the first question I ask them is to think about, are they in the right business? Just because you started off as an accountant, you've been an accountant for the last 5 years, it doesn't mean I have to, carry on being an accountant until the day I decide to retire. The second thing I tell them to think about is, if knowing everything you know, be it being in the business that you're going to remain in, or if you were to start a new business, what would you do? And if the answer is, I'd still carry on, in my obviously example, I'd carry on being an accountant, then we'd say, okay, now what can you do differently, because you're starting from scratch again, okay, that you didn't do previously, that would give you a competitive advantage. And that's when people then obviously start thinking about all the different possibilities, avenues that are available to them. I'm sure you've heard of things like doing a SWOT analysis, or strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, that kind of stuff, a pestle analysis, looking at all the different opportunities. Which all of those things are great, by the way, but I find most of the answers are known to the business owner anyway, because they know what the problems are, they know what the blockages are, they know what the hurdles are, but they are trying to solve the problem at the same level as where they've created it. And as you know, Scott, you need to see things from a different perspective in order to solve a problem which you've already created. Now, whether that, and again I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, I'll try and come back, whether that means working with a mentor or a coach, or...
Yeah, I was going to say that, yes. Would you encourage that for somebody?
The two of the most important things, or the best things I ever did, Scott, and good people like yourself were able to advise me at the time. One, they said to me, get a coach or a mentor. And the second thing they said was, become part of a mastermind group. So pretty much every year for the last 10 years, I've had a coach or a mentor, and I've been part of a mastermind group. And those two things have made a significant difference to my business.
But do you mean significant as in like a obvious and in significant change in the revenue that you're generating and the money that, is it that clear and obvious that because you've implemented this coach, mentor, or mastermind, that it's had a clear effect financially for you?
So there's two huge benefits, and obviously I talked about pricing and upselling and reinvention. There was a fourth thing linked with that, which fits in very well here, which is mindset. Most people struggle because of mindset, because obviously of things in the past, their upbringing and experiences that they've had which hold them back. So what mastermind groups to help you do, and coaching and mentoring, is to kind of clear up, clean up, tidy up and improve your mindset. So that's extremely important. Then the second thing what mastermind groups help you do is, when you're around a group of people, let's say there's 10 people in your mastermind group, and it could be the same business, by the way, it could be a different business. When you see somebody else increase their prices, for example, upsell or do something else that you maybe can't do, and you see them do it and they explain to you how they've done it, you're then more likely to believe you can do it too, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. I would agree with that there. No, I do believe I have seen significant uptake in not even just revenue, which is obviously a very important indicator of how well you're doing, but also just in how I operate my business and how I relate to customers and employees and how I engage with people, how I carry myself, and sort of the problems that once bothered me or challenged me now all of a sudden become much easier. So I totally agree, getting in a mastermind group, or some sort of group where there's people that are hungry for more. I would agree with you. Huge part of any success that I've had as well. But here's a big one for you. It'll be interesting to get your point on this. I have informed people, I've told people about that before, and I've actually had people turn their nose up at paying money to join mastermind groups or to get a coach or mentor. Do you pay, good money for these people and this access? Do you believe in that? And what do you, if you do, what do you say to those folk that maybe go, I ain't paying, I'm not going to pay money to have someone tell me, or to be part of that group? What's your thoughts on paying for access, essentially?
So I tell people that as an accountant, paying for anything causes accountants huge pain. We like to charge people money, we don't like spending money. The question, or the answer to your question is, it's not can someone afford to, it's can you afford not to.
Yes.
And I can see the barrier because cards on the table, Scott, initially I struggled with it too. Somebody wants to charge me, let's say for example, £500 to spend 2 hours with me. That's £250 an hour. Oh, I don't earn that in a whole day. I'm not going to pay somebody that much in 2 hours. Okay, but I can assure all of your listeners, viewers, followers, it's money extremely well spent. And had I have known, like I said, that these types of people exist, the first thing I would have done is, when I started my business, is maybe taken a bank loan for £10,000 and given it to a mentor or a coach and said, here you go, can we start working together? Because all those hundreds of mistakes that I've made, Scott, I would have avoided most of them. But what's really important is, it's not about saying, let's find somebody who I can pay £500 to. First of all, identify your problems, look around, and then find a coach or a mentor who shares the same values as you, has possibly shared the same journey as you, has possibly helped other people who are going through what you're going through. So make sure that they're the right fit, you're comfortable with them. And if they are the right fit and you're comfortable with them, money is secondary, because I can pretty much vouch based on my own experience, by the way, and so I know there are bad coaches out there, I know there are bad mentors out there, but based on my own experience, every single penny that I've spent on coaching, mentoring, mastermind groups, self-development and improvement, Scott, has paid a much higher dividend and return than I could ever imagine.